Hello, everybody. Today is a wonderful day outside, and we decided to join together with two of our experts on Biocides market outside and online to talk about the Biocides. And we would like to invite you to our two upcoming webinars to be held by our experts, Hardeep Parmar and Nicola Matic, both of our directors at Chemicals Practice at Klein. Nicola is more focused on the research side, and Hardeep is more focused on the consulting side. And she will be presenting in the first webinar, which will be more about the general information, the changes in the market, and where the market is heading. Lately, it's been changing quite a lot. And I'd like to ask Hardeep first, what will she be presenting? Thank you.
I mean, as you know, Biocides is a new world for me, but definitely not a new world for Klein. And you know, I've certainly seen that since I've been following this market for a couple of years now. We've seen a lot of progression been taking place. COVID certainly had a massive impact on the uptake of biocides. Previously, you'd had, you know, the regulations really affecting how this business was shaping up in terms of its portfolio, in terms of its offering, in terms of, you know, even regulations protecting the market, I suppose, to some extent. COVID certainly led to, you know, a lot of concerns about microbial behavior and finding solutions to help us, you know, be more hygienic, zap the bugs and so forth, as per se. And then there's now increasing concerns about the greener solutions that we should be and could be implementing. So right now we still continue to be quite affected by COVID. Lots of disinfecting taking place across industries, lots of new habits or, you know, new hobbies, including in my own home place, which was paints and coatings, and for painting our garden fences, which is part of the wood preservatives, I suppose, Nicola. And then, of course, you know, decorating exteriors and interior walls and so forth. And a lot of people are doing this. And so there must be an increase in demand for biocides across things. And of course, on the oil and gas sector, things are certainly slowed down for the moment, but the post-COVID world is certainly going to create more demand. And then let's not forget what sparked my interest in biocides, which was the Lonza portfolio, which was much talked about divestment, and it finally took place earlier this year. And what a remarkable multiplier that led to. Of course, we've seen IFF as well, you know, acquiring the DuPont biocides business, or the microbial control business, which is inherited from Dow. So there's lots of things happening and lots of movements taking place. You know, we see, you know, Lanxess is another example. A beautiful company, has really transitioned, has an excellent portfolio of biocides, acquiring emeralds in the US. And certainly the IFF portfolio seems like a beautiful fit for them. But, you know, how will the markets play out with all the private equity interest in specialty chemicals and the like? So yes, I think it's about time that we do look into how the landscape for biocides is shifting. So we're really looking forward to, and we're working on this at the moment, we're really looking forward to presenting our scenarios, if you like, to those who are going to be listening in, and hopefully posing lots of questions both before, during and after the presentation that's taking place on the 8th of April.
Well, that's so great. I'm excited to host this webinar.
Good.
Yes, I can't wait. And of course, the recording will be available. If anybody sees this and would like to see the recording after it happens, feel free to request the recording or join the webinar this spring.
Yeah, do get in touch, like, just to have a brief conversation. I love my conversations, and I've always been a social person, so please.
There'll be Q&As, questions and answer session. There will be different polls we'll be adding, lots of really good things. And I'm sure Nicola's webinar will be as great and I guess more specific, right, Nicola?
As great would be difficult to be as great as Hardeep, but
thank you.
We'll try our best. we'll try our best. And that actually, they'll be very, I guess, complementary because, as Hardeep says, the biocide world is changing. The competitive landscape is changing. A lot of assets are becoming, are being traded from a company to another, being acquired. But I think that the overall environment is changing. Think about it. I think that in our Western worlds, people have realized that there's a lot of small bugs that are not necessarily good for them. Maybe more than 18 months ago. And I'm curious myself about what's going to happen after these settle downs for biocides, which were seen by consumer as a no-go product. You would in the personal care area, notably, people would build their product marketing around no biocides, or they would no preservatives. But maybe people now are realizing that those biocides are necessary, and that the narrative could actually change. So what we will present in our webinar, basically on the top of the situation in 2020 for the key Europe and US market, is mostly what our clients view in terms of what's going to drive the consumption of the different technologies or the different products that are on the market today. Hardeep mentioned, regulations have been a key modeling factor, and in the last decades or so. But now, on the top of regulation, we'll also give our point of view about what's happening in terms of how will the consuming application restart, if you want, after COVID, because this will have, I think we're still in the midst of that crisis, and the markets will evolve in the next 12, 20, 24, 36 months. That's a lot of people are asking. And what will happen for the consumption in the plastic industry? What will happen for the consumption in the metalworking fluids, which means automotive, which means machinery? What will happen in the hygiene world? All of those are questions that industry people are looking to answer. Sorry, and we hope that we'll be able to share our point of view and help them making their own opinion about the situation.
One of the beautiful things that we've seen during COVID as well, I suppose, is how a lot of chemical companies have really come together, and not just chemical companies that are also involved in in flavor and fragrances, right? And they've really come together to come up with sanitizers and sanitizing ingredients, which biocides also plays into in a big way. We've really been pushing hard and working hard and meeting demand. And how is this really going to play out afterwards as well, when we start traveling and are more relaxed, I suppose? Any thoughts?
Absolutely. No, that's a very good point. And I think one of the main questions that discussing with the industry players that the industry, and not only in the industry, each of us as individuals is trying to answer. When are we going to be back to normal? Us as individuals, us as businesses, and us as communities. Is it going to be 2022? Is it going to be 2023? Are we ever going to go back to normal? Because all of these have very deep implications on businesses in general, and biocides in particular, because they'll play a very important role when it comes to giving us the ability to do some of the things as we used to.
So true.
And so it offers a lot of opportunity. I believe you agree with me, Hardeep.
No, I absolutely do. And one of the conversations I had with a dear old friend who's a client at the same time this morning was, what is this new norm going to be, and when is it going to be? And there's so many unknowns. So it's I'd say it's exciting times because I like a bit of adventure, right? So